So, hello, I'm Vicki and I'm a Conservation Projects Officer at Wildwood here in Kent. When I was at school, I really enjoyed being outside, so doing the physical activities like PE and doing sports, as well as if we had any field trips. And actually, I can remember coming to Wildwood as a child when I was at school, and I really enjoyed it. I like to go for long walks. Just being outside with nature is something that I really enjoy, and quite often I'll have my binoculars with me so that I can do some bird spotting. Not to say I'm very good at it, but just start to get some ID on some of the birds that I see when I'm out and about. So my job's quite varied. I do have to spend a little bit of time in an office looking at a computer screen, dealing with some of the admin and budget work that supports some of our projects, but also I get to spend a lot of time outside. So doing field visits, doing like field surveys, doing wildlife surveys, visiting like some of our conservation grazing programs, checking up on some of the horses and making sure that they're all okay, and also just attending quite a few meetings to make sure that we're doing everything that we can for our projects. So my job makes the world a better place because we're looking to preserve and look after a number of species that we're losing from the wild. So at the moment we're going through what is called a biodiversity crisis, which means we are losing a number of species from the wild. And so through conservation programs and projects that I'm working on, for example, the Wildwood project, which is looking to bring European bison into restore natural processes, so natural functions of a woodland. It's really important because it supports a whole host of different species and preserves the habitat as well. So projects like that are really good at trying to reverse this biodiversity loss. I love being outdoors, so if there's the opportunity to go out and do wildlife surveys or go and check on some of our animals, then that is something that I particularly enjoy. And the real practical elements of the work as well. So, for example, I manage our conservation grazing program, which uses conic ponies for grazing different reserves, and so that means I have to turn up and I have to check on those horses, those ponies, and make sure they're all okay. And occasionally it means that I have to try and round them up and move them onto other sites, and I really enjoy that. So to begin with, it's a really difficult industry. The conservation sector is a really difficult industry to try and get into. So you do have to volunteer a lot of your time to try and get the essential experience that will then put you in a really good position to apply for a job. So in that in the beginning stage of my career, I had to give up a lot of my time. I enjoyed it because I really enjoyed the opportunity to get that experience. But at the same time, you kind of have to try and juggle that with working to get an income as well to then support you in your volunteer work. So it is a struggle, but you can do it, and you've just got to persevere with it. So it's really important to be organised. When you have lots of work on, it's really good to be able to prioritise those different workloads and make sure that you're doing everything to the tight deadlines that you're given. It's also really valuable and good to be practical and be open-minded as well, and to be engaging. So don't be afraid to speak to people and talk to people about wildlife, about British wildlife, and see if you can just give them the information and try to increase their awareness on some of the struggles that our wildlife is facing.